Hey everyone, welcome to a new video of my multiplayer server. Now this is the map that everybody started with. I gave everybody a vertical drop roller coaster. They're all exactly the same layout, just rotated 90 degrees to fit in the map. And everybody had to decorate one of these coasters using the scenery and track texture that was available to them. You already just saw a sneak peek of all the entries that were created. Yeah, some really awesome stuff was made in this round. This is probably one of my favorite rounds so far. Anyway, let's just get to the creations that were made. And we had 14 entries this time. I'll start at the one that got 14th place, and then I'll continue on until we reach the winner of this round. Okay, here we have the entry that got 14th place. Well, yeah, it's not difficult to see why it got 14th place. It was sadly really unfinished. Probably this track that's here with the coaster and an infinite loop. I guess the track at some point had to be invisible. The dragon probably had to be a bit longer and maybe also a bit slower, I don't know. But yeah, it's all just speculation at this point because it's a bit unfinished. Okay, here we have the entry that got 13th place. Let me use a cutaway view here. So yeah, this was the entry from DededeRobbie. He loosely themed it after the Steelers. I think it's his favorite sports team. So yeah, actually you can clearly see the layout of the coaster here. So yeah, here's where I made the station, then a big lift upwards, then here there's a vertical drop, and here I made a long straight section for players to have some interaction with stuff, or they could choose to, like DededeRobbie did, choose to make sort of a water splash area. So yeah, the coaster was actually loosely inspired by Krake, which is a vertical drop coaster in the Heide Park in Germany. That coaster actually has a big boat which the coaster passes through with a monster inside. So yeah, it's a really simple layout, but it did allow the players to have some interaction with it. Now, what I really like in this plot is this tower here. I think that's a great support tower with different types of track texture, and also these signs on the side and also the track on the side. I think that looks really good. That's my favorite part of the plot. Well, yeah, other than that, it's just a very simple plot. So yeah, lots of gumdrops used as rocks. I think there might be a little bit too many here. If you use gumdrops somewhere, it generally doesn't look good to just use gumdrops and just spam them. It's probably best to have some different types of landscape on the plot. I do like the station. It's quite simple, but looks quite nice. And here's a little twist with a little building above it. But I think I've already seen this exact type of building quite a few times now, so it's not special to me anymore. But yeah, overall for 13th place, I think this is still quite a high score and a nice coaster to look at. Alright, here we have the entry from H-Man. You can see the H's he put here. He took those from the Goliath sign. So yeah, he colored the track dark red. What I really like here is how he made these supports, these custom supports. I think they look great. Not really sure what the theme is. I think this is a vehicle carrying a tree. So yeah, lots of jungle on the plot. I do like how the station looks, so with the satellite dish on top. So yeah, for me it's kind of difficult to see what this plot is all about. Probably a story would have helped here, but I do like the way the jungle looks. It looks nice and dense, and yeah, I think it works quite well. So the one thing I really like is this gorilla which he made a cage for. Alright, after that we had a 3-way tie for 9th place. So here's the entry from Phoenix Wing 101. Phoenix Wing made this red rock canyon. I have to say I really like the way this looks. Also I like the colors of the lift hill. That's quite cool. I think the red rock was done quite well. Also I really like this diagonal bridge here. Diagonal bridges usually look great. The red rocks are quite glitchy in some places, but I think it looks not decent enough. So these custom supports, they also work quite well. And I also think these buildings, they're quite simple, but they look quite nice. So yeah, I think this is really good work. The longer I look at it, the more I start to like it. Okay, here's one of the other entries that also got 9th place. This one was made by Ricardowordo. He went for an Asian style plot. Again, sort of a water splash here. I like the way that looks. And then here there's a lot of Asian style buildings. Well, yeah, I do think the plot is quite monotonous. The buildings all kind of look the same. Also, I think the buildings could have used more windows. Buildings without windows for me typically look a bit weird. If you go to a real theme park and you look at any building, it's usually full of windows, unless it's a dark ride. But well, even without windows, I think the buildings are done quite nicely. I do like the colors throughout the plot, and also I think the trees and plants are done very well. Okay, here's the entry from Henk the Super Nerd, who also got 9th place. He made this big castle. I think it was to celebrate the fact that Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition got released. So he was really happy about that. So he made this big castle here and some other stuff around it. I don't know if it's based off a building from the game. I never really played Age of Empires, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, I do like the way this castle looks. I have to say it is quite bulky here on top. It must have been a building from that game scaled up. I don't know. But yeah, for such a big building, I was quite disappointed when I used cutaway view and I didn't actually see decorations on the inside. That was kind of a disappointment. But I do have to say I do like the buildings that are on here. But yeah, I think they're scaled up a bit too much. But yeah, overall not a bad plot at all. I really like the supports that he made for the coaster. They're pretty cool. Although this one looks a bit painful with the cogwheel. Alright, here's the entry that got 8th place. This one was made by Susbukett. And at first I thought this was a really weird plot. But it took me a while to realize that these buildings here are all upside down. So yeah, you can see this tower here. The Tower of Pizza. And well, yeah, if you look carefully, you can see this volcano here, but it's actually just a bunch of earth. You can see some roots sticking out, some plants, and yeah, you can actually see it being upside down. Same for this, I think it's a pagoda temple, also upside down. And here's a big, what do you call it, a big clock tower, also hanging upside down. I don't know what this scene is based on. I'm not sure if it's something from a game or from a movie, but I do really like the way this was executed. But yeah, while I do really like the buildings, I think the stuff around it looks a little bit rushed. For example, this station building, it's really simple. So the queue path maybe could have used a different look to it rather than just normal queue path. But yeah, like I said, I really like the building, the upside down buildings here. Those are really cool. Alright, then in 7th place we have my plot. You may have already seen this because I made a time-lapse video of it, of me building this. I think 7th place is not bad at all, considered I spent exactly 1.5 hours on this plot. So yeah, that score is actually really nice. Well yeah, I'm not gonna say too much about this plot, because I already made a video about it. If you haven't seen it, just go look up the, what did I call it? The Tiger Woods coaster. I think you'll like it. Okay, here we have the entry from Andae23. He made this this really nice Russian castle. I think it's Russian, considering the flag that's here, and I think he also gave it a Russian name. He had a nice story to it. So yeah, this is really a beautiful castle. I like all the different colors used in it. It usually looks really well when you're making a castle to use, to try and use different colors in it. Sometimes I see people making castles in just one color. It can also work, but different shadings usually gives better results. Something I also need to play with more when I make a castle. Something I also really like is these steep wooden coaster pieces that are used here. I think this is a really clever way of using these steep pieces. So yeah, the vertical coaster travels upward here. As it comes up here, we can probably also see a boat coming up here. I'm not really sure what the idea was behind this. Obviously they're dueling and timed to go at the same moment, but well yeah, the coaster car is usually here earlier than the boat, so I don't really know what the idea was here. Maybe it works better if the boat is if the boats are full. I don't really know. That could have probably used some explanation. But yeah, other than that, just a lovely looking entry. Just really well decorated, really nice layering on the walls. Yeah, just a really nice plot. And here we have the entry made by Mamarillas. Mamarillas never fails to give us nice looking plots. This is well yeah, I think he made this overnight, because one day this plot was just here. Out of nowhere. So yeah, the plot itself, it's really simple, but it's really well executed. You can clearly see that this was meant to be underwater. The colors for that really help. I love the pink color he gave the coaster, and it works really well with the green color of the seaweed that he made with all these coaster tracks. Yeah, that's just really well executed. And of course there's the giant crab and the big fish. The crab is just so well done. I really like the way it looks. It looks like that dancing or the raving crab. Also this fish is just awesome. Lots of monorail track. So yeah, that's I guess that's becoming Mamarillas' trademark, making big track texture structures with monorail track. But yeah, definitely one of my favorite plots. Just it's quite minimalistic, but really well executed. Great job. Okay, here in 4th place we have this massive structure built by What TheHexadecimal. And damn, this is big. This must have taken quite a while to build. There's this huge, I think it was a Greek temple. So he actually built this structure here diagonally. I think that's really difficult to do. It's a diagonal structure attached to this big series of arches. So yeah, just amazing, huge structures here. More arches here. It's more golden temples. This must have taken quite a while to build, and everything here is probably floating in the clouds. Just lots of nice greenery here, some waterfalls. There's really a lot of stuff to take in. Yeah, for plots like these, it's impossible for me to go over every detail just because there's so much to look at. So if you're watching this video, I really recommend you to download this park for yourself. You can get it on my Discord server from the multiplayer archive. You can get all their maps there, and then you can download and see them for yourself. There's just so much cool stuff to see on this plot. Alright, in 3rd place we have this plot made by Skiffa. And this is just another awesome structure. I don't know exactly what it is, but it just looks amazing. This building is really nicely built around the vertical drop roller coaster. It is quite glitchy in some places, but I think I'll forgive him. So yeah, just an awesome mix of castle structures, just overhanging buildings. There's an awesome windmill here, even some pipes here which are leaking water. Yeah, again, just so much stuff to take in. Here's a really nice Ferris wheel. I like how we even used the Nitro sign here. This now says Nitro Town. That's really clever. Again, just so much to take in. I just love this structure. Oh, you could even see some monorail trains going around here. I bet they're going down into the mountain here. Probably popping up somewhere else on the plot. So yeah, again, really take a look at this plot for yourself. You'll probably discover even more stuff than everything that I see here in this video. But yeah, great work once again from Skiffa, and I hope to see many more creations from him in the future. Okay, SupraThe Hedgehog once again joined the round, and somehow I think he always ends up somewhere in the top 3, and this round was no exception. Again, a huge undertaking here. He built this city around the coaster. I just love this structure he built around the lift hill. He used a mini suspended coaster piece from that, and also I think that's junior coaster track or water coaster. Yeah, amazing big station. This plot is just full of track and texture everywhere. I love this round tower here with the helipad. And there's airplanes flying around here. There's lots of clouds made with gumdrops. Yeah, just everywhere you look there's amazing track and texture. Typical Supra style. Alright, and here we have the winner of this round. First place, plot made by Mekkit. I don't know how Mekkit does it, but somehow he just reaches really high scores in every round. And in this round, again, no exception. This is just amazing structure, mostly built with track architecture. You can see this awesome Zeppelin. Just these amazing towers made with these abstract glass pieces and really nice roofs on top. Platforms around it made with wooden coaster track and car ride track. So yeah, the buildings are a lot of the same, but it all just looks so good. Called mechanical industries. I really like how this is also combined here with that structure from the what's called the Martian teaming. I think it's this structure. But yeah, just amazing work throughout. Also love this. I think these are supposed to be engines. That looks really cool. Just exhausts with mints used for smoke. Also, if you look here on the lower level, you can see this train going around on the lower levels of the plot. That looks really nice. I mean, you don't see the train everywhere, but you can see it popping out of these tunnels every now and then. It's all really well done. This is probably one of my favorite multiplayer plots ever. So I'm also really glad that this entry won the round. I want to thank everybody who joined this round. If you want to join one of my multiplayer rounds, you just have to become a member on my Discord. It's completely free. And if you stick around long enough, you join in the chats, you're active, then you can become a trusted member. And all trusted members can play on my multiplayer server. I just do this trusted member thing because sadly in this game you cannot really let untrusted members play on your server, or they could destroy other people's stuff. And sadly that sometimes also happens. But since we only allow trusted members, that has never happened again. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching all these entries. I sure enjoyed going over all of them. And I'll see you again in the next video. See you later.